As we work our way through this project, the next technique you need to learn as a video editor is the use of transitions. Transitions are the way that one clip goes to the next. So far, all of our transitions are just cuts, straight cuts from one clip to the next. You've probably seen a range of transitions in your life, from fades to dissolves to 3D spins, and Adobe Premiere Pro comes with a number of those transitions built in for you to use. You can find them under the Effects bin. If you don't see the Effects bin, make sure that you go up to Window and Effects. To find a specific effect, if you have something in mind, you can type it in the search bar. But for those of you new to this, you might want to just drop down the Video Transitions bin. Under there, we have categories: 3D motion, dissolves, iris, slides, wipes, zooms, page peels. Play around with these. So I'm going to play around with adding these transitions to this last shot, going from here to here. So for example, we just take this 3D motion bin, we open it up, we have this cube spin. What's that? To add a transition, just simply drag it onto the cut or the place in between two clips. And you can see there that I can drag it and leave it on the left, in the middle, or the right, however it's highlighted. So if I put it right in the middle, let's play through this. You see what happens is it has this 3D cube spin. It looks like it's a cube and it's spinning. Let me zoom in here so you can see what's going on. I can make this slower or faster by taking the edge and dragging in or out. So if I drag it out, it will be slower. If I drag it in, it will be faster. And I can also move it around. So if I click it and drag to the left, then it will start faster. And if I drag to the left, it will start later. Okay? One thing to note about transitions. Let me just take these two clips, and I'm going to teach you something cool right here. To quickly duplicate any layer or any clip on your timeline, hold the Option key down, Alt if you're on a PC, and then click and drag. I'm still holding Alt down, or Option, and then let go. It duplicates that clip. I could also select them, press Control or Command C on my keyboard, then Command V to paste, or Control C to paste. And it will paste it into this layer that you have selected. Earlier, we learned about these track selection tools over here, which have to do with the source monitor when you are selecting and overwriting or inserting a clip. These toggle track modes right here, this selects where you can copy and paste items. So say I'm going to delete that, then I select these two, and then say I want to paste it to the second track. I'll just select V2, paste it, it's on the second track. Okay, enough of a tangent. That's a cool trick for you to do. What I wanted to show you is, say you have two clips that end and they meet together. So see how I dragged the end of this first clip to the right, and there's that little corner piece right there. That shows that that's the end of this clip. There's no more. I can't extend it any further. Same with this one on the right to the on the left side of the clip. There's no more before this. If I put these together and then I add, let's just say this flip over, what's going to happen is insufficient media. This transition will contain repeated frames. It's going to repeat frames because there are no frames afterwards to extend this transition. It might make a little bit more sense if one of these is shorter and then this one is at the beginning of this clip. So this clip on the left, we still have footage on the right side, so after this point. But with this one on the left, there's no more before it. Let's just take a normal dissolve, cross dissolve. This is your standard dissolve. If I take this and drag it over my clips, what happens is it doesn't allow me to put this transition in the middle of the clips because there is no middle, there is no footage to the left of this second clip. So when I add this, it automatically adds it just to this clip into the start of the next clip. I know that sounds really confusing, so it's just one thing you have to play around with, but I often get the question, why can't I add a transition to this clip? Why can't I move or extend my transition? That's another thing. So say we have these two clips, they meet right there. Let me extend this one, not to the end, but just a few frames in. And then we add the cross dissolve. Then I try to make the cross dissolve bigger. It's not going to let me go bigger or longer because there are no frames in both these clips to the right or to the left of the cross dissolve. Let me delete this. I'm going to drag this over to the left, drag this over to the right, bring them back together to meet. Now let's add a cross dissolve. Now let's extend it and see how long we can extend it. That's because it's dissolving. Think of right here. This is where this second clip actually starts, right here. It starts to dissolve on. And then here, over here, this is where this first clip ends, over here. It's dissolving out. But if they meet at the end and there's no amount of time left in the clip, you can't add that kind of transition or increase the time of it. The last thing I want to teach you about transitions is that some transitions have effects that you can change. So let's go over and check out this slide transition. This is one that you might use, push. So if I add push to this, you can see that it's pushing the second clip from the left-hand side of the frame. If we click on this push transition, go to our effects controls window, which is up here on the left, we learned about that before, we have some options for our transitions. In this top left corner, you have where the transition starts, from the west to the east or the left to the right, from the right to the left, from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. So if I click that bottom to the top, you see that this transition moves from the bottom to the top. How about that? That's how you add transitions to your video clips. It's time to practice that. Go ahead, pause the lessons, go to your own project that you're working on, and add a transition between two clips. We're going to come back. I'm going to review adding cross dissolves between two clips and show you an even faster way to do so with keyboard shortcuts. Enjoy the practice, and we'll see you in a few.